Alright guys, today we're going to talk about athleticism, specifically the most important thing you can do to improve your speed and your running form. And I know there's a lot of things you can do, but this is the thing I see most commonly messed up. We talked about hip flexors yesterday. Today we're going to work on how that actually translates to your running form. Your hip flexors are what pick the knee up. You see kids that go and do the high knees, and a lot of times they're lazy, they're picking their knees up, their toes are pointed down. We've got a video of a bad demonstration here where the knees aren't getting up very high and the toes are pointed straight down. We're going to compare that with a really good demonstration. You'll notice the knees drive up, the toes are dorsiflexed, you're picking those up as well. All of that goes to preload the Achilles so that when you step, you're ready for that next one. And this doesn't matter if you're doing long distance running or sprinting, the form is the same. The range of motion may not be there, but if you are not using these muscles, what's going to happen is you are going to be loading the hamstrings and the lower back much more than you need to because your hip flexors are too weak. If you are sitting all the time, what happens is that back is artificially supported, the hip flexors are never working, and then over time, they get tight and weak. You go to a physical therapist, they say you need to stretch more, we'll needle you, we'll fix this. It's not fixing the problem because you're not actually addressing what's causing it. Work through the exercises I showed you yesterday to strengthen those. And when it comes to athleticism, we're going to work on these high knees in a very different manner. What I want you to think is driving the knee up. When you're doing those, the knee goes up, the foot goes up, be explosive. Second is the butt kick, okay? What we want to do is shift the entire running stride forward. Typically you see kids, they're here, the knee doesn't get up, they're kicking a little far back. It's a lot of hamstring and low back engagement, which leads to hamstring pulls and low back tightness. If you've ever had either of those happen, this is why. The butt kick needs to go from this motion where kids are back here to a tuck. I got a good video where the guy is pulling his feet right up underneath and tucking versus a bad demonstration where the foot is kicking way back. It may not look like much at first glance, but when you start to pay attention, you see the difference, okay? Practice these two moves as a warm-up before you do a long distance run, before you do a sprint, even as a dynamic warm-up before you lift. Get these muscles activated, your hip flexors and your hamstrings, and shift the running stride forward. No more kicking back, it's a forward stride. Your injuries will go down and you will feel better, you'll be faster and a much more effective runner. All right? If you have any questions on how this applies to you or your running form or your training program, leave a comment or shoot me a DM and we'll talk more specifically, okay? Other than that, focus on making this change and see what happens. See you next week.